There is a national football team that will never play in a World Cup, not because it's weak, not because it's small, but because it refuses to enter on purpose. Think about it. Every country dreams of playing a World Cup. This one can, and says no. And the craziest part isn't even the little team hidden inside this tiny country. The real mystery is the whole sport of football that you root for, because it was probably born inside a church. Hold on, because this story has three twists. In the first, you discover a national team that's out of the World Cup by its own choice. In the second, one of the greatest managers in the history of world football has already sat on this team's bench. You won't believe who. And in the third, the biggest of them all, a Pope's beloved club, and giants you watch every weekend, were born from a religious man who wanted to get children off the streets. This is better Catholic. If you love football and stories no one ever told you, go ahead and like and subscribe. But to understand why this team will never set foot in a World Cup, first you need to know who plays for it. And the answer isn't a single professional player. We're talking about the smallest country in the world, the Vatican, an entire state with around 900 inhabitants. Stop for a second. 900 people. An apartment building has more people than that. And even so, they put together a football team. Now picture the locker room. Who laces up the boots for this team? They're not signed athletes. They're employees of the Holy See. Vatican police officers, postal workers, government staff. And there's more. Members of the Pontifical Swiss Guard. Those guards with helmets and halberds who protect the Pope. Monday to Friday, they stand guard at the door of history. On the weekend, they trade the halberd for football boots. The football division was founded in 1972, and the team's first official match only came on the 22nd of November, 1994. A scoreless draw. 0-0 against the amateurs of San Marino. A quiet debut for God's team, right? But here's the paradox. This team belongs to a sovereign state, recognized by the entire world. And even so, it's barred from playing the World Cup. And the reason isn't what you think, because to play a World Cup, there's a basic requirement, being a member of FIFA. No FIFA, no World Cup. Simple as that. And the Vatican isn't a member. But pay attention, it's not because it's too small or too weak. It's by choice. They don't want to. In 2014, the president of the association was blunt. He said, "I'd rather stay amateur. Joining FIFA at that level would be like turning into a business." See the choice? It's like that neighborhood restaurant packed every night that refuses to become a chain. It would grow, it would profit, and it would lose its soul. They prefer the small and real to the big and empty. That's why the Vatican only plays friendlies. Never a World Cup. And there's a deep logic to it. The Church has always taught that sport serves the person. It's good, as long as it does you good. It can't become a master that enslaves you. The game is meant to be a game. The moment it becomes only money and pressure, it stops serving the human being and starts using the human being. And if you think an amateur team of guards and office workers would never attract anyone big in football, wait until you find out who once sat on the bench to lead this team. His name is Giovanni Trapattoni. If you follow European football, your eyes just went wide. Trapattoni is a living legend. One of the most successful managers in history, with titles in Italy, in Germany, all across Europe. Well, this man led the Vatican team. His first match in charge was on the 23rd of October, 2010, against a team from the Guardia di Finanza, the Italian financial police. And the result, a loss, 0-1. But careful not to fall for fake news. He wasn't the Vatican's permanent coach, and he isn't today. At the time, he was managing none other than the national team of Ireland. Trapattoni is a devout Catholic, and he accepted the invitation. But there's a far bigger revelation hidden in all of this. And it's not in the Vatican. It's in the stadium of the team you root for, or in the beloved club of a pope. Let's go to Glasgow in Scotland. The 6th of November, 1887. One of the most beloved clubs on the planet is born, Celtic. Who founded it? Not a businessman. It was Brother Walfrid, a religious man, a Marist brother, a teacher, and he didn't found Celtic to win trophies. He founded it in the hall of a church, St. Mary's, with a single goal: to raise money for a charity. Its name says it all, the Poor Children's Dinner Table. In the East End of Glasgow, immigrant children were going hungry. Celtic was born to fill those children's plates. Football was the means. Food was the end. Now hold on, because it gets even better. Over in Argentina, there's a huge club, San Lorenzo del Magro, and San Lorenzo was the beloved team of a man the whole world came to know, Pope Francis. And it wasn't lip service. He was a card-carrying member number 88,235, and even after being elected Pope, he stayed a card-carrying member, up to date with the club's dues, leader of more than 1 billion Catholics, and faithful to his beloved team. And where did San Lorenzo come from? From a priest, Father Lorenzo Massa. The story is heartbreaking. The boys played ball in the street, surrounded by danger, until one of them was nearly run over by a tram. The priest didn't scold them. He opened the yard of his own church for the boys to play safely. With one condition: come to Mass on Sunday. And it doesn't even stop there. Several English giants were born the same way. Inside parishes: Everton, Manchester City, Southampton, Aston Villa. Teams worth billions today. Wait, that fills stadiums. Franced, full stadiums. And that began in the hall of a church to get boys off the streets. So the football that moves the whole world was born to feed the poor and protect the child, which makes the final question inevitable. After all, what is the game the church has always truly wanted to win? Now rewind it all and look at the whole picture. The Vatican team isn't out of the World Cup out of weakness. It refuses on purpose to stay amateur. It doesn't want to become a business. Only friendlies. Swiss guards and office workers on the pitch. Even Trapattoni led a match. And there's also the Clericus Cup, the championship of the seminaries of Rome. From Celtic to San Lorenzo. From the Vatican to the English parishes. For the church, football was never about winning the World Cup. It was about the person, getting the child off the street, feeding the hungry. The scoreboard was never the point. The point was always the person. And you know who had already figured this out 2,000 years ago? St. Paul? He compared all of life to a race. Run in such a way as to win the prize, but not a crown that withers. An incorruptible crown that never fades. The race that matters most isn't on a pitch. It's inside you. And the prize isn't a trophy that rusts. So here's the spark. What if the most important game of your life is another one? And you, tell me down below, is a team that refuses to play the World Cup so it won't become a business, an example of the purity of sport? Or is it throwing away a giant chance to evangelize the whole world on a stage the whole world watches? Leave it in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell, because every week there's one more story of our faith that no one ever told you.